Men and women and people in the middle, welcome to another video of your beloved duck chess speedrun. Check out my first ever duck chess video to understand more about the variant. And without any further ado, let's get into today's content. As usual, we'll play 4 games, hopefully our elo at the end will be higher than it was at the beginning. e4, duck on e5. And by the way, I haven't lost even a single duck chess game yet, but that may actually become a problem, because I genuinely don't have any experience on how to play the game in case my opponent gets an advantage. e6. Aha. Only with that first move, I already know this guy is absolutely not a beginner, because he knows that I actually want to put the duck on d6 myself to block both his d-pawn and his dark bishop. So he took away the square first, making use of the rule that I have to move the duck to another square on my move. Absolutely genius. d4, duck on c5 instead. Some people may argue that duck on e7 would have been better. But there is actually no reason to block his queen from coming out. I mean, what kind of man prevents a woman from coming anyway? a6. Alright, I have no idea. I refuse to spend more time thinking about that. Let's just develop our bishop. Well, never mind. Second game, let's go. That was literally free elo. But of course sometimes we have games like that. e4, duck on e5. I have seen some people asking why I put the duck on e5 instead of e6. I mean, duck on e6 is still totally fine, but I'm actually not scared of my opponent pushing e6, but completely opposite. I even want my opponent to play e6. The pawn doesn't even tackle the center that much, and eventually he will have to waste another move to push e5, or maybe he can go knight f6, I push e5 to kick his knight. I cannot see any downsides of e5 compared to e6, so I chose e5 instead. d5. Scandinavian defense, but unfortunately, it doesn't work in duck chess. e5.
En passant.
And I'll block the bishop from recapture. He has to take with the pawn. Or not. I guess this is just another free elo game. Let's hope not all 4 games today are free elo, because that would be way too convenient. E takes f7. A counter check. F takes c8. And for some reason they still want me to promote the pawn. Fine then. Second game is a win. Third game. Another beginner. For some reason there seem to be a lot of beginners these days. And these unfortunate souls have to play against me. e4, duck on e5. It is also very strange that I feel like I am getting the white pieces a lot more than I should be. Maybe which side has higher rating gets to play white, or all beginners have to play black in their first game. I have no idea, but it is also very convenient. e6. Full center, duck on d6. b6. Very decisive. He knows he can never get that bishop out this way, so he immediately starts the
Fianchetto
plan. Absolutely testosterone. Bishop d3, duck still on d6. On second thought maybe I should have ducked on b7, but I don't know, because you know what they say. Duck on the rim is dimmed. c5. Of course I'm not taking out of the center. d5. Take. f5. That opens up his king. Queen h5 check. Duck blocking my own check. Alright, now he either has to bomb cloud his king or shuffle the duck back and forth with me for the rest of the game. Either seems good for me regardless. He chose to shuffle the duck. d6. He ignores my attack. Fine then. It's a bit scary that his queen now can give me a check, but I don't see anything can go too wrong. Let's not worry about it too much for now. Or he can take with the bishop. Of course, absolutely convenient. Knight f3. Bishop trade. Bishop trade. c4. Free pawn. Bishop b4 check. Very aggressive. Castle. This variant requires players to capture their opponent's king, not giving checkmates. So you can castle through checks. Man, I always love this function. I even hope one day they'll make normal chess able to do this as well. It seems like my opponent is so shocked he can't even make a move anymore. He approaches me. Fine then. Alright, 3 wins out of 4, but only one single loss can cost me all of these ratings and this video will become an absolute failure. We need to concentrate for our last game. e4, duck on e5. Somehow I feel that this guy is a lot stronger than his rating suggested. d6. Bishop c4, duck on e6. 2 moves into the game and he already made me block my own bishop. Absolutely no joke. Knight c6. Aha. He is baiting me to go d4, attempting to take the full center. And then he can actually take my pawn and use the duck to block my queen from a recapture. Absolutely genius. But you know what? I will actually let him take my pawn. The plan is after knight takes d4, I can go c3, attacking his knight. Duck on c6, removing one of his knight's safe squares, which forces knight back to e6. And then I can take his knight with my bishop, duck on d7 to block his bishop from recapturing, so he has to recapture with his f-pawn, which opens up his king's critical diagonal. Absolutely perfect. Unless he doesn't take. Wait. That is actually a very good move because now he has a double attack. And I cannot defend both pawns. Knight c3, he can take my d-pawn and I cannot play c3 anymore. Knight f3, he can take my e-pawn for free. And he even blocks away the d5 square, so I cannot counter-attack on his knight. Alright. f3 then. At this point I already know that this game just won't be as easy as all the other games before. h5. Aha. That allows d5, and I'll remove e5. Knight b4. That blunders a horsey. a3, duck on a6. His knight is trapped. A desperado. Queen takes c2. Rook h6. Aha. That blunders a rook, but no. My bishop's existences are to trade off the knights, not the towers. Bishop g5. Duck on g6 then. I'll bring the bishop closer so he can see his blunder and waste another move to pull the rook back. Or he doesn't care.
En passant.
Duck blocks the bishop. F takes c6. Bishop takes c6. Rook g6. I feel like there may be something to do with e5 here, but after d takes e5, I can't really see any continuations. So I guess I'll just play safe. Never mind. Duck chess speedrun, 2600% win rate.